Amit, thanks so much for joining us on the show. It is great to have you, as our special guest.
Thank you for having me.
I want to congratulate you because you've recently completed a milestone in Amazon's journey here in India. I think it's 6 years now.
It's been 6 years since we launched, yes.
And it's been a long way. You've come so far in terms of, what you've been trying to do here. So take us through certain milestones, highlights, your journey. Where are you at currently?
We had a very simple vision when we started. Just to give you an idea, Amazon globally is driven by this mission to be Earth's most customer-centric company. So when we started in India, we had the same mission. But we were driven by this vision in India that customers anywhere in India should be able to find, discover, and buy anything online. And at the same time, we were very inspired by the entrepreneurial ecosystem out here, and we wanted business of any size in the country to reach customers globally. So if you look at our journey so far, it's been very much focused on that vision. And our approach towards that vision has been to focus on the three things that we have believed over the last couple of decades that customers most care about. We know customers care about selection, they care about value, they care about convenience. We have spent our energy in trying to skill small, medium businesses, trying to train them, trying to empower them so that they can bring the largest selection of products online on Amazon. We are focused on building fulfillment services and technology for our suppliers in India so that they can offer defect-free and have low-cost operations. And we believe that when they do that, they pass on the savings to customers. And at the same time, we have invested in world-class fulfillment logistics infrastructure that provides fast, reliable, and convenient delivery. 50,000 of our sellers are actually exporting products using Amazon and selling to customers globally. And we recently announced that our exports have exceeded $1 billion, and they're supposed to exceed $5 billion. So all of this stuff is just something that we wouldn't have imagined.
When you mentioned the 5 billion target, where is that optimism coming from? I also ask in the context of the current slowdown that we're seeing. So both in terms of, are you seeing an impact as so many others are of what we're seeing currently? Is it something that you really expect to last for a long time? And B, on the 5 billion, the outlook for India overall.
Amazon's global mission is to be Earth's most customer-centric company. And India is a very large part in terms of population and importance on this planet. So clearly, as a mission, we cannot stake claim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. India is a very important part of that mission. As a business opportunity, if you look at all the factors in India in terms of the internet population, second only to China, how consumption in India is growing, how the small, medium business base is rapidly coming online, how quickly customers are adopting convenience. We see tremendous opportunity in India to have a very large active customer base that essentially depend upon Amazon to buy anything that they wish to buy, and having a very large prime base that is enjoying their daily life using Amazon services. So I think this is a very large part of what we see, what could happen in coming decades. Secondly, Indian manufacturers are using Amazon to reach out to global customers. So we have over 12 marketplaces, and as I said, that number has already crossed $1 billion, growing to 5 billion in 3 years, very rapidly growing. And that allows customers in other marketplaces to get access to selection they don't have access to. So it actually fuels the growth of our other marketplaces. So it's a great win-win for Amazon and India. So if you look at the domestic market and the global market, for us, India is a key accelerator. I think what we are finding as a team in India is what is good for customers is also very clearly marrying with what is good for India. So when you think of Digital India, Make in India, the domestic focus very clearly blends with the Digital India focus and the Skill India focus. The global focus very clearly intersects with Make in India at scale. And what we are seeing is our success in India will not only drive e-commerce growth, but I think we might have a big role to play in growing the SME base, growing jobs, and helping the Indian economy to grow. Which I think, just as a purpose point of view, my team finds it very energizing every day to come and work for. So great opportunity for it to help Amazon, and I think we find ourselves in a unique position to be participant in this transformation that's happening in the country.
And you've already invested or committed to invest quite a significant
we have invested.
amount.
We have committed $5.5 billion, of which the $500 million is committed to mostly about just focusing on agriculture, farmers, and farm to folk.
So let's talk about grocery and how big that's going to be in the overall game plan going forward. Even the fact that, as you said, delivering now as opposed to even the 1 day, 2 day period could be a huge benefit in that category. Where are the plans there at currently? Just talk us through, what you foresee.
Food, grocery that people consume is an important consumption category. And we especially find that our Prime members are particularly interested in that, given that they shop with us very frequently. So we have built a few offerings that are already very popular with our customers. So we have what is currently offered under the umbrella of Prime Now, which is our 2-hour delivery service. We offer customers the ability to buy essentially pretty much their entire grocery basket in 2 hours. So that's 2-hour delivery for things that they need. It's great convenience, and it's great service for the customers. In addition to that, we also recognize that in many cases, customers would keep buying the same thing often, and they might want to stock up for the week or for the month. And we have a service called Amazon Pantry, which is a super saver service, where if customers buy pack sizes that are more about stocking up for the week or the month, they can actually get the greatest value. So there's the greatest convenience, there's the greatest value. And then we kind of have variants. We have a service called Subscribe and Save, which if you really need it every month, then you could literally subscribe to it and you never have to order it. It will just come at your doorstep every month, which is great zero-click convenience for our customers. So essentially, pretty much across your different needs, and I'm glad that you are a customer, so thank you. And then, India, as I said, is such a diverse country and a lot of migrant population, people born in Delhi, working in Mumbai, born in some village, working in a metro, otherwise, that we have one of the largest selection of just any unique grocery items out there. You can get the favorite masala that you used to buy in Chennai for your sambar, and you move to Mumbai and you just never have to feel homesick again. And you simply order on Amazon and come to you. So just tens of millions of items that are there. So pretty much across the needs, whether your daily grocery needs, your weekly, monthly stock-ups, your things that you buy every month, or just the one-of-a-kind items, gourmet, unique items that you buy, we have you covered. So we're very excited by it.
The other big, elephant in the room, so to say, that everyone's wondering about is Reliance's entry into e-commerce. And given the fact that they're also going to be across, multi-segments and so forth, is that something you perceive as, a competitor that needs to be watched closely, given the kind of disruption they've had, for example, let's say in a telecom? You've already had the big Flipkart deal on one hand, you've got a Reliance coming in. Do you see them as being a disruptor in this space?
We genuinely, as a company, are very focused on the customer, and if you really think about it, for something that is so early in its evolution, online commerce is barely low single digits of total retail consumption in India. So you are bound to have many winners, many models in this space. And all of that is good for the country because it essentially helps us get closer to this goal of e-commerce driving the economic flywheel of the country. Our job at Amazon is to remain paranoid that customers will choose the best service. And it is our job, it is our responsibility that we ensure that we offer the best service to our customers. And that's what our energy is well spent on.
How important is offline going to be? Because some of these players would also have that offline presence. Is that something that you feel is important, critical, considering the Kirana stores, etc.? Is that something that you're also including in your strategy?
So I think the question to ask is, how would you serve customers better? We often get confused by segmenting experience as online, offline, omni-channel and so on. Customers don't view it that way. So if I look at some of the things that Amazon is doing, you may not even be able to classify as online and offline. Let me give you a few examples. Let's take the service of Prime Now, for example. It's a service that provides you the so-called offline convenience of finding selection close to you, but adds the online convenience of delivering at your doorstep in 2 hours.
Sure.
If you take our experimentation with a service called Amazon Easy, which is essentially a service that is mostly launched in the remote parts of the country, It allows a local neighborhood store to essentially put a big TV.
Right.
The customer can walk in, they could browse the Amazon selection of TV, they can get assistance from this store owner, they can buy a product, they can pay the store owner, and the product gets delivered to their home. I don't even know where this spans the offline-online divide, but it's a great way to get the offline trust, the online maximal selection, and doorstep delivery. Another great example that I find how these worlds are marrying together to provide better experience is our partnerships with over 50,000 neighborhood stores in 350 cities. So these are, our neighborhood stores are great entrepreneurs. You know, they evolved from the STD booths to the KIRANAS stores to the printer shops and so on. And they are now becoming digital entrepreneurs. We have enabled and empowered nearly 50,000 of these stores across the country to become pickup points, to become delivery points, to become assistants, and they are earning incremental revenue through that mechanism, and our customers are getting better service. So I think these worlds will blend together in a way that they serve customers better. No single world will stake claim on its ability to do that well.
So what is the path to profitability, or is it still a long time away?
It's very early in the evolution of e-commerce, and we have to realize that India is trying to become relevant in e-commerce in a hurry. Sure. Right? So what I mean by that is we don't really have, we're not gifted by the same established infrastructure of logistics or a mail order catalog business or a seller base that had organized retail or a payment infrastructure that was developed. And to offer a great customer experience, while in other geographies we could piggyback on that infrastructure, in India you have to build that out. Yeah. And building that out requires you to invest capital ahead of scale. So it is not about loss making, it is about the investments that you're making ahead of scale. Sure. And what we look for is indicators that does that investment bring in the right kind of behavior from customers, from small, medium businesses, to spin this flywheel in a way that has the similar characteristics that led us to build a large profitable business. Sure. And we are seeing that in India already. But having said that, you know, if our ambition is to serve hundreds of millions of customers, and to do that, there's a lot of investment that needs to be made.
Also talking about some of the challenges, as you also described, you know, one of the other debates that the government has recently also come out with its latest views on is the data localization policy. What are you making of that? How fast do you see the adoption of you know, the kind of technology that you need for payments, because you're very bullish on that pocket as well going forward?
I think in terms of payments, our focus on payments is very simply about digitizing cash. Sure. For us to be a place where customers can get great convenience, hundreds of millions of customers, we have to deal with the problem of cash in India. And what we have done is we have first tried to make the digital payment experience very convenient. So a lot of our investments are invisible in that sense. Every day my team is really focused on every failure point that happens between Amazon, the customer, the bank, the processor, and trying to remove those defects so that essentially customers can come and have a defect-free experience. That experience is very important for customers to have trust to use digital payments. In addition to that, we are investing in our own PPI wallet, Amazon Pay. We are investing in UPI, which is the government protocol for interbank transfers. We are investing in doorstep digitization. We have Asia's largest mobile point of sale network in the country at Amazon. And so we can convert a customer to digital at the doorstep. Yeah. And then we are investing in building everyday use cases. You can actually pay your bills on Amazon, you could send money using Amazon, you could recharge your mobile phone, you could book travel, you could go and book your movie tickets. All of these are intended to essentially keep pushing that cash customer towards digital. Sure. And then on top of it, we are building services that customers can get access to credit, because credit is a second problem in this country, so that customers can then fulfill their aspirations. Right. So these are the two focus areas for our payments, and we see a tremendous opportunity out there. In terms of localization, we are already localized in our payments data. I completely understand and respect the concern around customer data protection, customer data privacy in a country that is going through this digital transformation. I think my only viewpoint is that there are various ways to achieve that outcome, and localizing data in India is one of them. I think it would be beneficial for the country to debate and discuss alternative ways that achieve the same outcome, yet allow us to gain the benefits of cross-border innovation. So I think those are the areas where I tend to give feedback more often.
E-commerce policies from the government, again, in the context of challenges, do you feel that they have been a little disruptive to the growth trajectory here? Even recently we had comments coming in saying they won't be compromising on their stand on predatory pricing, for example. That must have been quite a bit of a speed bump as well when that came through. Just talk to us about the experience and more on what you'd like to see, how you feel perhaps things could be easier on ground.
First of all, as a company, we find ourselves in this very gifted place where our business strategy completely aligns with the spirit of what the Indian government is trying to do. As a country, we want to digitize India and essentially take Make in India global. We want to skill India so that it can manage the digital economy. The examples that I gave you about selection, the only way we can add selection is by going out and digitizing every micro entrepreneur and entrepreneur in this country to offer the largest selection to our customers. We have so much work to do. We have made progress in getting 500,000 sellers on our marketplace. As I said, 730,000 artisans and handicrafts, weavers, and then 130,000 women entrepreneurs. But this country is entrepreneurs of crores and crores of entrepreneurs. So we have a lot of work to do. But I'm very excited by the momentum that we have. And that completely aligns with what the government wants. Similarly, when I talk about digitizing the neighborhood store, the neighborhood entrepreneur effectively, and converting them from just thinking about themselves as a shop to a digital entrepreneur, a pickup point, a delivery point, a store, assisting the customers. We have seen tremendous success on Amazon, and all of these are completely aligned with the spirit of these policies. We as a company have a very high compliance bar on ourselves. So we comply with the letter and the spirit. And these are examples on how we are forwarding that spirit deeply. In terms of pricing, again, we are a marketplace in this country, sellers price items. I think people fail to understand how value is created and misunderstand pricing. And as I said, I can only speak for ourselves.
Because there shouldn't be regulations on pricing of products.
Well, I cannot speak for other marketplaces, but on Amazon, our approach towards offering customers great value is to systematically use technology and innovation to remove defects from sellers' operations and lower their cost of operations so that they can get better conversion, lower cost, and funnel that absolute rupee profit that they're making as better value to customers. And that's in complete alignment with the letter and the spirit of what the government wants to do, which is to enable these businesses and empower them to compete at global scale.
In your view, do you feel that there is a level playing field here then in the marketplace in India?
For the right kind of sellers who want to embrace this new digital world, our job is to provide those tools, services, and infrastructure so that the smallest home entrepreneur sitting in some remote village can have the same level playing field as the largest seller you can imagine in the country and reach out to the same customer base. And we already have success stories that point out how that's happening. There would always be disruption when there are new technologies. And it is often the disgruntled base that is not ready to embrace this new way of doing things. So it is important for us to understand that technology is going to happen upon us. It's not something that I doubt India wants to stay behind where humanity is moving forward. So embracing that and moving with it in a way so that it allows us access to larger opportunities. Absolutely, there's a level playing field. There's a lot to be done to continue serving small medium business in that direction. But our philosophy at Amazon has always been, maintain that level playing field in terms of tools, services, infrastructure, so that sellers of the smallest size can compete with the largest sellers.
You've also had close experience working with Jeff himself. You're a company that's known for its innovation. Just share with us any anecdotes, experiences in terms of some of the things you may have taken away with your experience so far, or the management style that you yourself have evolved and practice here at Amazon.
Sometimes in life you have to reflect back and ask yourself if you're really lucky. I consider myself as the luckiest person. For me to be able to join Amazon 20 years ago when the company was essentially the largest bookstore in this world, and to have been participant in some key innovations. I was part of the team that worked on marketplace, then the team that worked on cloud computing, and then India. Very dramatic shifts in how kind of the internet space, the world evolved. And then to find myself in this unique place in India where, one of those dreams that I had of working on really hard, challenging problems that could actually have a social impact. This is like the perfect intersection of all of that stuff. And at scale, this is not really doing it in small. So I find myself really lucky. Your point on working with Jeff, in the middle of this, I also had the good fortune of being his advisor for 2 years. I'm very fortunate to have been chosen to do that. And yeah, I had, it would be for anybody who knows him or reads about him a great experience. For me, I really learned to appreciate the power of customer obsession, the power of inventing on behalf of customers, and the power of long-term thinking. And these three pieces have really shaped how I think about business, how I think about leadership myself. And all of these three are very relevant to what we are doing in India. Just trying to essentially start from scratch 6 years ago and really innovating on behalf of customers, being obsessed with customers, not competitors, and having a very multi-decade resilience, patience, and vision to execute on that is what is needed to really succeed in India. And I find very fortunate to have had that experience to be able to use it now.
Fantastic. Amit, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.